Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. We made it through another week. Oh my goodness, it's time to show off all the things that I got a chance, the opportunity, and was blessed to be able to work on this week. This week, if you've been following along, has been pretty eventful. We had my mother-in-law in town, so family was in town. Got to see all 6 of the grandchildren. Oh yeah, that's right, to include baby Noah. And it was really a wonderful, wonderful time. The house is now quiet. Hubby and I are exhausted. Everybody is now gone. And it's been such a joyous time. And surprisingly, surprising and not surprising, I was able to get some things done. I did take off during the week, and I evidently was doing a bit more during the week than I thought I was doing. Well, I finished one project and I started one. Okay, so I started 2, but one doesn't really count, right? It doesn't count. Socks don't count. I have to get, I don't have to, but my goal is at least 10 pair of socks by the end of the year in my bin, my Christmas tin bin. And that way I have enough to give out to the family, to the children, their spouses, my husband, my mother-in-law, who just got her pair from Christmas because she wasn't here earlier, right? And, you know, anyone else that comes along. I just recently gave my niece a pair also. So I have made, what, 3 pair of socks this year, and I've already given away 3 pair of socks. This is not helping my Christmas bin. It was 3 in and 3 out. Now I do have some. I'll show those Thursday. I think I'll show the rest of everything that didn't get picked previous years in the Christmas bin. I'll show what I have, what I still have, and then what I'm working on. So I'm extremely proud, very, very happy. To my knowledge, this is my longest whip, my oldest whip. It has been dubbed the voter socks because they're 19 years old, and I finished them. I did. This is a pattern by Cookie A. This is where I started on that one. So it's a pattern by Cookie A, the Pomatomus. I think that's how you say it. I've never really understood. Here, let me get a sock blocker. I have a bunch of these things. And I marked the one I did in a previous video, showed how to pick up stitches on this because it was just left in a bin with, at that point on this sock, was just to there, and there were no needles. It was just live stitches. So not only did I knit from here to here on this 19-year-old whip, had this one done, right? On this 19-year-old whip, I also had to put the needles on it. So thrilled, so absolutely happy. I mean, look at that. I did it. Let me see if I get another blocker over here. Finally, right? This is, so like I said, to my knowledge, this is my oldest whip. I don't think I'm going to find anything older than this. And to come back that many years later and to do it, so happy, so thrilled. And I've been asked, is this going to be my pair? I'm going to put them in the sock bin, but that doesn't mean Mama's not taking a pair this year. You know what I'm getting at, but it's counting. So here we go. Here are my, I'm going to take that ring off. I don't need it anymore. I don't. I just wanted to show you from where I started. I believe this is Lorna's Laces yarn. Not 100% certain. It's been a lot of years. So there we go. They are 19 years in the making and done. How cool is that? And the funny thing is, right after I found them and I was starting to work on, I'm like, oh, I don't want to, because I realized this one's just a little bit fuzzier than this one. Some point it made it to the washing machine, most likely washing machine and dryer. So it's not quite, the stitches are not quite as crisp. And that really discouraged me. It's like, well, I don't want to make it. It's already ruined. And this one's not going to get washed. Just saying. I know we get in our own way sometimes. So my longest standing whip. Oh my gosh, finished. So I did finish one and started one, and we know how that goes. So now I'll show you when I started in a minute. Look at this. I was already working on this. Yeah. I know I don't count them. So maybe I did. Yeah. So I don't count them as whips necessarily. I know that sounds funny because I need to always have a pair of socks on the needles if I want to get the amount done. And then plus some extra. Recognize that pattern? Yeah. This is the same. It's the Fairy Maiden pattern. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. I just did it, and I had in the comments below, why don't you make another one? Because you have it memorized, and in your brain, it's almost the same as doing a stockinette pattern, you know, just round and around and around, just knitting. And you're right, it was. So I did that, and I've got this one done. One more sock to go, and I'll have another pair. How cool is that? So those that are counting and keeping up, you'll know that my vintage stuff, my Tackle It series, is just hitting it out of the park. No other way to put it. Oldest standing whip, 19 years old. This pair, I think we were saying about 10 years old. These were both finished in May. These were partials, bits and bobs and pieces that had already been started. This one I had all but the toe done on one sock, and then the other one I knit. This one you saw where the marker was and had to finish. Both of them finished in May, and these were both decade, 19 years old. So yay and shout out for perseverance, picking up old things and going, you know what? I'm going to finish it. I can do it. I have the abilities. So out of the 3 pair that I currently have that are done, that I can put in my bin, oh yeah, I'm taking needles right now, that I can put in my bin, 2 of them were from my vintage stuff. 2 were from vintage. This was brand new, just made this year. I'm just thrilled with that. That just tickles me that there has been so much just stick-to-itiveness. I really didn't expect that to be the case going through old projects, but here we are going through old projects. So thrilled with that. So again, this is a free pattern, lovely, and this is Fairy Maiden, and you can get that off of Ravelry, free pattern, love it. And I started another one. Let me see if I can find said pattern. We know how that goes. We know how that is. I brought it up here. And you know what's really funny? I was looking all over the house. I practically tore the house up. I actually cleaned in my room some. Not gonna lie, it does look a lot better because I could not find this pair of socks. I showed them to my mother-in-law. No, I wasn't saying she took them, not at all. But I showed them to her, and then I set them down. Where did I set them down? So I did a whole bunch of cleaning and everything. I did find them. They had fallen behind my chair. Not a big deal. But there you have it. But I was going all over going, where's my socks? I got to show my finished socks. Got to show my finished socks. And so the next pair, I did start another pair of socks. I did. With that Ukrainian yarn. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. I ended up with that yellow one. This needle's sticking everywhere, man. I tell you what, it's a little dangerous in this room. I ended up working with said yellow one, and I do find it humorous. So here, yeah, we can see, stand it like that. That is the angel pattern. Yeah, it is. Like I'm doing for the angel. See, we can see it a little bit. It's upside down, but yeah, there we go. Here's the cuff. That's where you would put the bobble for the head for the angel pattern out of the Japanese stitch book that I'm making the sweater with. I had to do it. I just had to. That yarn is magic. That is, I so wanted to wind this. Oh my gosh. That one is YourMagicYarn. It is an Etsy shop, and I will link her down below. Absolutely wonderful. I am not affiliated. I bought this stuff with my money because I thought it was gorgeous, and I wound some because I definitely wanted to use it. And the pattern that I'm working with on that's pretty cool, right? I made it through a whole pattern repeat of the angel. That's called Heartleaf, and it is a free pattern. It is on Knitty.com, and Knitty is an online knitting magazine, and it's launched the career of multiple designers. The Pomatomus sock, that by Cookie A, that was also on Knitty.com. I'll link it, most likely I'll link it on Ravelry, and then you can jump to Knitty. I don't know, but I'll link them down below. So here is that gorgeous sock that I'm working on right now. Isn't that pretty? And then when you turn, you know, what I call angel pattern upside down, like she said, it has the organic look, the feel of leaves and just flowing. And I think that's quite appropriate with this particular yarn. Let me see if I can pull up the picture that was used for this one. I could not resist. This one is the only one I did not get a mini with when I got all of my yarns, but that's partly because this one didn't get offered with the mini. If it did, I would have got the mini. which is crazy because minis confuse me. So anyway, let me see if I can get where's the inspiration photo one with it? Do we not have the inspiration photo one with it? The inspiration photo on this one is roses, the yellow roses. And I don't see it on this one. She might have changed her pictures, but she doesn't have that with the roses right now. Not a big deal. But having a pattern talking about the organic movement, the leaves and everything, and this to me was the yellow roses, and it was so pretty. I had to do it. I just had to. You knew it was going to happen. I was trying to finish some other things before I started stuff, and you're like, well, why didn't you finish the one pair of socks before starting those? Have you watched my channel much? That's the logical thing to do, and that is the smart thing to do. How about you finish a couple things before you start some? You know, last week I finished 5 big things. Yay, which is really a lot. Now, you know, I mean, I was inching along on a lot of them, so it was bound to happen sooner or later. This week finished a 19-year-old project. I have 1 full sock done, 1 full sock done of another pair, and that pair is really fast to make. Okay, it's a mental thing. It's a psychological thing. I mean, it is. It's really cool. 3 pattern rounds and then 5 just plain rounds. So, you know, you're like, okay, you nug through the 3 patterns, right? So, oh, you're going to whip through the 5. I'm like, I can do 1 more. And it just kind of encourages you to move along. And that is the only reason I was able to whip those out that fast, because the first pair, the blue pair, I started on the 6th of May. So I got those 3 socks plus this other one done since the 6th of May. Yeah, I know. It's cool. I stopped myself from winding this. Oh my gosh, it was a toss-up. This, I want to make like a baby cardigan or a sweater or something like that for Noah. Well, I already have a blanket going on for him. Oh, actually I have 2. But anyway, I have some blankets going on. And then the other one that was just killing me, I really wanted to play with, was for my 2-year-old granddaughter, this set right here. Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. And I would like to use the little handmade tags right there and sew that into it, because I think that would just be the cutest thing ever. So I resisted starting way too much. Just starting the socks and everything. And then the 1 pair of socks I started, I think, yeah, last week or earlier in the week. Yeah, I showed that on Thursday. Yeah, when I was doing the to the toes, and I finished it since then. Yeah. So it's just, how far was I? I don't remember. I think I was past the heel turn and just finished that sock, which is exciting. And then started this. Oh my gosh. And let's see. A little more closer. It is so pretty. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so cool, right? That is cool. Yeah. We like that, don't we? I like that. So the heel, that's a twisted rib. So that's really neat. And that lace, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. And they have 3 different sizes. So on the sizes, the pattern repeat of the lace pattern is 19 stitches. So depending which side you're doing, see this ribbing, or that, not ribbing, that purl stitch right there? The smallest size, you're just going to have the 1 purl stitch. I'm doing the medium size, so I have 3 purl stitches in between. And if you do the largest size, you're going to have 5 purl stitches in between there. That's just how that they work that particular thing out. And I think I've got maybe 1 or 2 more rows for the heel flap, and then it's just I'll read and everything on how we do the turning. And that's the other thing too. A lot of times when I follow a sock, I get to the heel and I just do my own heel. I like the heel flap and gusset that I do. Not that it's any better than any of the other ones. It's just in my head. I have it 100% memorized, and I'm a creature of habit. Okay, that's really the reason. I'm following the pattern for this one, so that's kind of a, hey, that's kind of cool, right? I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So that's kind of exciting for me to do that and to jump in with that. I had a lot of, you know, being a good girl and staying on task before doing that. And yeah, I don't count the socks as a start because, well, I have so many that I have to get done. So I don't count those. Nope. I'm going to work on them, but I don't count them as a project. The project that I was talking about, starting, and I am counting. This is another blanket for Noah, because why wouldn't I? Look at this. Yarn Arts. Look at that. Started with the orange, and here I've got the rest. This is Yarn Art Color 509. Yarn Arts Flower Vivid. And I love these. Oh my gosh, these are amazing. If you're not familiar with these, this is just one of those huge cotton cakes. This is a cotton acrylic blend. This one is 55% cotton, 45% acrylic. This is 250 grams, and it's 1,093 yards or 1,000 meters. That's 8.5 ounces of yarn, acrylic and cotton. Beautiful. I am working with this with a size F hook, 3.75 millimeters, Susan Bates, because it's my favorite. And look at this. So I did just show this one, but I had only gotten the orange. And now look at that. I am into the green. Oh my gosh. I was right there. And I after I'd finished recording, turned off the camera and everything, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm putting some more on here. And I'm loving that. I am loving that. And I still have the orange attached. And that's because the orange was a solid center color, or a solid color. Like some of that green was solid if needing. And I didn't want a partial row of, you know, the solid orange and then the orange yellow. So I left this hanging. If I decide for whatever reason I don't want to finish this and I rip it out, I have no cuts in my yarn and I can use it for something else. So this will be taken care of at the end. Right now it's just like an ugly umbilical cord, and that's fine. But yeah, this is what we're at. And this particular pattern is not 100% following, but taking the elements from the Porcelain Berry Shawl, which is a paid for pattern, and that's a triangle. So I've taken that and looked at how they did the triangle, because it's not a, you know, 90-degree triangle like this. You know, it's a little different, okay? That one had 8 little clusters in the center, and for the triangle and everything. You started with the very, here we go, that center circle, right? So on the pattern for the shawl, you have 8 clusters. For this, I have 12, and then I did the corners. So yeah, that particular shawl is more like a gradual V, not the 90-degree one. Yeah. So I had to do a little finagling with that. And then I also decided I didn't want for every one of these, you see this beautiful arch right there with those clusters, and then here's another beautiful arch with the clusters, you know, so I've got those like that, and it kind of like, yeah. And I didn't want it on every single set where it had the clusters. So what I was doing is 1 with no clusters and then 2 with clusters. It kind of gives a little more open, and it's going to let my yarn go a little farther, because we can see like this is 3 double crochets, right? Each one of those. That's going to use more yarn than this right here, where it's just the open right there. Just the open with the double crochet, 1 double crochet as opposed to 3. And it gives it a little more of an open, 8 lacy, airy look. That was just my way of doing that. So like I said, it's based off of that particular paid pattern, but like a lot of things, I used it to start with and then did my own thing. On that one, they do have, if you do decide you want to buy that particular pattern, they have it for the triangle, and then they also have it as an oblong, or, you know, starting on one side of the chain, moving and doing your berry shawl that way, starting on the other side and going down this way. So they do have a couple different options. They don't have the square version. That is what I did. And then I also changed up the stitches, because we're designers all by ourselves. We take a little bit of this, we take a little bit of that, and we make our own things. And that's what I did. So I definitely started with her pattern, but did my own thing after that. Loving it. I think that is beautiful. And you know, my rounds are getting a bit longer, so I did get that green on there, and I am turning every row now, as opposed to just going around and around and around. When I did get to the green, I did not turn on that first round, because I didn't want it significantly stacked higher on one side than it would have been on the other. So, you know, I'm just doing my own thing. Whatever I think makes it look more pleasing and better to the eye, that's how I'm doing it. And yeah, there we go. Loving that. Let's see. So another project that I have had, and I started this the 1st of the year. Yep, it's January the 1st. My friends and I got together, and we all 3 started working on our faded glass cowl pattern. This is by Tangled Poets, and I love this. I don't have many of the little minis left in there. Yeah, getting it. And I haven't worked on this one in quite a while. You know, I hadn't, right? I just, like so many other things, you know, I was going strong. I was doing 1 color bob per week, and then it was every couple of weeks, and then it was, hadn't touched it in a month or so. That's where we're at. So from here, well, actually from here, I didn't even have this square done. This is what I did from about there to there. That is what I got done this week. And see, we're adding this color right now. That's so pretty. And I contemplated on this dark purple. I almost didn't add it. I mean, it's already a good length, and I missed one of the balls just because it fell out of my bag. And, you know, whatever. It's not a big deal. It's plenty long enough. And I contemplated on that because the purple is so dark. I'm like, I don't know, with the black in there and then being able to see which one, because, you know, sometimes it's a little difficult to work with black and the black and dark purple. Doing color work, So I think I stared at it for like 30 minutes before I wound the skein of yarn and just added it. Just did it. So here we are. And that's a really bright, beautiful color. And once everything's done, it's on provisional cast on at the moment. I got a pink thread in there, or I got a thread in there. I got something in there, but I'll graft the two ends together and it will be that Mobius just going all the way around. And I think, yeah, I've got 3 colors left. That's it. I've got that one. This one's next. And then this one that has some red in it, and the red and the pink. And then it'll get grafted onto this edge with the red. So that is it right there. 3 more and grafting. How cool is that? Loving it. I really wish they would get these back in stock. I know I'm not the only one who thinks that they're absolutely amazing. And I'm pretty sure if they did get back in stock anytime soon, even though I've already bought 3 of them, I would probably buy another. I'm making one. And then, of course, you know, I gifted the other 2 to my friends, and we all started ours on New Year's Day. I texted him last night. I'm like, hey, how far are you guys? Are you guys working on it? I'm like, yeah, I need to reprioritize. I'm like, life gets in the way. Not a big deal. And then the other part too, I know when I got about halfway with this, I realized this would make an amazing sleeve. We've seen those patterns are called sock yarn sleeves, where the body of the vest, you know, the vest part of your sweater is plain. You can put a pattern if you want to, or, you know, like a lightly kettle dyed yarn or what have you. And then the sleeves themselves are crazy sock yarns or something along that line. I think this pattern, these jewel tones, these colors would be fabulous. And if I just got, if they come back into stock, if I got just the color palette kit, whatever, I don't need the pattern anymore because I got it. Even though I would have one full sleeve, one color palette, the other, I'd love it. Or, you know what? You wouldn't have to do it like that, because each pattern, we go what looks like 2 blocks, right? So you could do like the 1 block of each on for like sleeves. Oh my God, I don't know. Either way, it would be brilliant. And I love that idea. So really hoping that they do get those back in stock. If they do, and you've been looking for them, jump on it. Jump on it and order however many that you think you absolutely wanted to get. Jump on it, because, you know, they're a hit or miss on when they're in stock, and they're wonderful. And yeah, so we got that. Let's see what else. Oh, I know what you want to see. You want to see the angel sweater, don't you? I worked on it some more. It's not done, but it is significantly more than it was earlier in the week. This is part of that Magnificent 7. This is part of, you know, all these sweaters getting done. Hey, got a little bit of ball left. That's pretty cool. And just loving it. I have decreased enough right now for that neckline. And I've got stitches right here. And then I've got decreases on each side. And now I can do that neck, because I think that's small enough. It's not too big. I liked it on the mannequin with the boat neck, but I don't know how well my sister would have liked the boat neck. And when I was on the phone with her, I forgot to ask. So there's that. And then look. Oh, how beautiful. So I didn't cut the angel's head off. That was a concern earlier on of not knowing where my pattern repeat was going to end. But how gorgeous is that? So I got that up, and it almost looks like she's got a halo on her on top of it. Love that. And yeah, there you go. We got those raglans, and those raglan decreases are just, they're popping. Look at that. That is just, that's a central double or a central decrease, and it is beautiful. That is just so just professional looking. I don't know. It's just beautiful. It's just, and it's a great design element for this. And That's the sparkly party yarn. So this whole sweater is made with party yarn. The main body is Joanne Big Twist Party, and the sparkle is Caron Party yarn. So yeah, the whole thing is a party. It's my angel party sweater. And I am right now ready to work on the collar. And that is, to me, so exciting. Those sleeves are done. Oh my gosh. And that one right there, it just pops to me. It just absolutely pops. But that's, you know, just gorgeous. I really, me personally, I like taking a plain sweater, what I call templates, like the Flax Tin Can Knits Flax. If you've never made a sweater, or even if you have and you just want somebody else, for goodness sakes, would you please do the numbers for me? Because I don't want to think. She's done the numbers for you. And it's written in sock weight, fingering weight yarn, DK weight yarn, and worsted weight yarn. And it's the same pattern. It's just a very simple pattern, and garter stitch from here on the shoulder all the way down to the cuff. Well, if you don't want garter stitch there, put an angel lace pattern. If you don't want that, put some bobbles or bits or any other pattern, any stitch book that you may or may not have, try it. And it's just a little bit, it's just a little touch of something that just elevates your piece. You're like, ooh, and now you're a designer. So you're taking those numbers kindly written out for you in all those different weights of yarn. You might want to have to do a gauge swatch, or don't care like I don't. I don't care, and you know, that bites me in the backside, but it's my choice. And then just add something really fun and see what happens. And that's what I did with this. That's why I have the angel sweater. And I have a lot of ends to deal with. Yes, I do. And a collar. And I don't think that collar is going to take much. I think this coming week I should have that one finished. And I should probably grab my brown one out too, because I do have that extra yarn, and figure out what I'm going to do with those sleeves. I did have 2 of my 7 sweaters done. I'm kind of taken back on that brown one since I found more yarn. So yeah, I'm pushing for it. I'm pushing to get the angel done, redo the arms for the brown one, and I already have my granddaughter's done, and that'll be 3 of those 7. I mean, that's impressive. We're working on it one step at a time. And I think with my starting, I calmed down a bit. Don't get used to it. I'm just saying, don't get used to it. If you don't think that I have things in my head and I'm going nuts for, like this stuff, this is only part of it. There are so many things. And then if you saw this, right? I got this scape cheese. Maybe that's how you say it. I don't know. I got this in the mail from Amazon, and gorgeous. I'm like, oh, what do I want to make with that? Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that. And I've got the daffodil, which is the yellow color. And I did reorder the orange. I canceled the order that I had, and I ordered again in sometime mid-June, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. It's not like I'm hurting for yarn. We know that. And then, of course, who knows after this weekend what's going on? And you're like, why this weekend? Well, this weekend is the Estes Wool Market in Estes, Colorado. I will be there. I don't know what I'm going to find. Pretty sure it's yarn. Pretty sure it's yarn. That's what I'm going to find. I'm going to find yarn. So I don't know what yarn. I don't know if I'm going to gravitate this year towards all the beautiful colors, right? I don't know if I'm going to gravitate towards neutrals, which I know would surprise you. I have done in the past. I don't know. You never know when you go to a market or festival what item will call. And then, of course, if I buy something, yeah, okay. When I buy something and I bring it home, we get to see what yarn screams the loudest. Like out of this batch, the yellow screamed the loudest. Actually, it was a toss-up. That one was a toss-up. But I wound the yellow one first. You know, and they're just like hollering, and it's like, oh, you want to start something now? You got to start something now. And it was really seeing that lace on that sock, that Knitty.com sock with that beautiful same lace pattern. I just had to do it. I just had to. You know, before I talked myself out of it, I wound the yarn, right? And then like, I got needles. I have plenty of size 1 needles, so we're good. A lot of times, and I haven't done it so much this year, but a lot of times I'll do my socks 2 at a time with double points. It's just my preference. There's nothing wrong with it. If you do yours 2 at a time on a single needle, bless you, that is amazing. Both of your socks are going to get done at the same time, and there is a massive benefit to that. And you know, there's just the 2 at a time on 1 circular, 2 circulars, all that. To me personally, that's fiddly. But then again, when I'm knitting with all the double pointed needles, a lot of people think that's fiddly because it's like knitting with a porcupine, right? You got all these needles sticking out everywhere. And I get that, you know, but I got used to it. And it's my preference. It's what I like. And it's the same with, I do cuff down. The logic and the brilliance of doing toe up, oh my gosh, I get that. You use every little scrap of your yarn and it's perfect. I get that. I do have a fancy scale where I can weigh them better now, but I don't like my bind off. So maybe you just do a better bind off than I do on the toe up. I'd like to, but I'm getting good results as it is, and we're happy. I'm happy with it. Anyway, I've gone off on a sock tangent and everything else and all kinds of excited. And if you do end up in Colorado and at the Estes Park Wool Market Festival this coming weekend, the 7th and 8th of June, and you see me, come say hi. I'd love to talk with you. Anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be, and I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.